I'm Cass. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you my May reading wrap up. May was such a weird month. Some of these books that I read, I could have sworn I read a month ago, like a solid month or two ago, but it all occurred in May somehow. I'm not sure, but I'm going to start with my favorite book that I read this month, which was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I really love this book. I truly did. They make a Devil Wears Prada reference in it, which automatically gave it, an extra star, more brownie points. I love The Devil Wears Prada. And I wish I could tell you I remembered exactly everything that went down in this book, but unfortunately, right after I read this, I picked up Beach Read, and now these two books are just meshed in my mind as one. And I can tell you that I enjoyed both of these, and I don't remember what stuff went down and what, but Emily Henry is one of my new favorite authors. I love her romance books. I read People We Meet on Vacation back in March, I believe, and just loved it. And when I saw Book Lovers was published, the whole premise of it is just so cute. And I also really enjoyed Beach Read. I understand why people wouldn't like Emily Henry's writing and her characters. However, I'm a sucker for both her books. Sorry I couldn't go into more detail, but I'm telling you, these books are just meshed in my mind as one. Because I don't know what goes down in either of these, but I know that I enjoyed the heck out of them, and I gave both of them 5 stars. The next book that I want to speak about is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. Now, this is a reread, but I reread it for a very fun reason. So, I've talked about Katie before on this channel. Katie is reading. Her channel is going to be linked below. And we became friends through YouTube, and I was up visiting in Missouri, which is where she lives, and we met up, and I decided to annotate her favorite book, and then she annotated my favorite book, and we swapped them. So Clockwork Prince is one of her favorite books, so I reread it, and I enjoyed the heck out of this. One, because I was annotating it for Katie, and that was just so exciting, knowing that the book that I was annotating was going to be in her hands. So that was super exciting. And 2, I am such a little, not say little whore, but I am a little whore. I am just such a sucker for both of the love interests in this book, both Will and Jem. For some reason, any character that has a last name Herondel, I'm a simp for. Like, I love Jace in The Mortal Instruments. Love him to death. Very first book crush, fun fact. I don't know if I'm just gonna throw that out there, but I was reading this and it very much felt like, and I've read this before, but it very much felt like Twilight. Am I team Will or am I team Jem? And I could not decide. But I thoroughly enjoyed everything that went down, even though I really had to remember what the heck was going on, because I didn't reread the first book. I just jumped straight into the second book, but I enjoyed my time while I was there. It definitely made me want to read the new series by Cassandra Clare, The Last Hours. But I'm trying to wait until the third book releases because I don't want to be left on a massive cliffhanger like I know there is. The next book I want to discuss is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I was 8 pages into this book and I was actually reading it at Katie's. And I look over at her and I say, I feel like this is definitely a book I need to annotate. And I did. I just haven't gone back and actually tabbed everything that I annotated because I didn't have tabs on me at the time. But I don't know how I enjoyed this book. The entire premise is very interesting. So our main character, Stella, who I really hate the name Stella. I don't know why I have a problem with that name, but every time her name was written, I was just like, ugh, Stella, why? By the end, I have less beef with the name Stella, but still, I don't know. Basically, our main character, Stella, wants to get better at having sex, so she hires a male escort. So what I've heard from it, I've never seen Pretty Woman, but apparently it's like a gender bent or gender swapped Pretty Woman. I really love Michael and Stella's interaction and their dialogue, and there are so many cute, like, one-liners that just absolutely get me, and I'm so excited that I did annotate this where I can go back and see my notes because I went into this book and, like I said, 8 pages in, I thought that I wasn't going to enjoy this or I was going to enjoy it ironically, but it actually ended up being a really solid story despite the interesting premise that it has. If you can tell by obviously the first 3 books I've discussed, I'm kind of into my romance summer reading kick right now. So if you have any fun like standalones that are cute romances, please let me know. I do have a few more. I really want to read them all, but if you have any recs, let me know. Next is another cute romance, and that is Heartstopper. I read both 3 and 4. I just don't own 3 quite yet. And once again, I enjoyed the heck out of this freaking series. Book 3, it was their field trip to Paris, and it is so cute. And I get why it's Katie's absolute favorite. I really enjoyed it, but I still think the second book is my favorite. But this 4th one was also, it was a lot heavier than the other ones, I felt like. Yes, the first 3 did deal with other issues that the characters were facing, but this definitely was a lot heavier and was discussing eating disorders. So if you have any and you need a trigger warning, that is your warning, that this does heavily revolve around a character having an eating disorder. But the way that Alice Oseman handles it, it feels both educational and very realistic. So I really like how it was portrayed, and I like how Charlie and Nick's relationship grew stronger throughout the book as well. And I just need a volume 5. These next 2 I'm going to go over quickly. The Young Elites by Mary Lou. I 2-starred this, and my sister who follows me on Goodreads, I visited home, and she goes, "What was up with the Young Elites? 2 stars?" Because both of us love Mary Lou, but something about this book just didn't do it for me. I only read it because I had it on my phone, borrowed from the library, and I was reading at work. And I couldn't tell you a single character's name or anything that truly went on. It just did not stick with me. And I was so mad because I love all of every other series by Mary Lou and every other book by her. Freaking Warcross and Wildcard. My very first Mary Lou novels, so good. The Legend series is top tier for me, but this one did not do it. I don't know if I'm going to continue the series. I don't know if it intrigued me enough, but big disappointment on this end. And then another book that I picked up just because I had it on my phone was actually Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. I've read this before, but I believe it was 4 years ago now, and I liked it. I plan on continuing Tokyo Ghoul because I made it a decent chunk of the way in the first time I tried to read it, but I might borrow a few from the library just to read the rest of it. But I'm trying to pace myself because I tend to devour mangas at an ungodly rate. So I'm trying to space it out. But I like the story. I like the premise. I like the gore in this. It's a little bit gory, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. I like the premise. So I think I 4-starred this or 5-starred. I honestly can't remember. It was a reread, so I knew kind of what was happening, and this kind of sets up the entire story, but I enjoyed it while I was there. The last 2 are continuing my rereads of Ranger's Apprentice, Book 8, The Kings of Clonmel, and Book 9, Halt's Peril. Love these books so much. I typically get stuck on Book 8, like picking it up after I finish Book 6, which sounds stupid if you don't know how this. So you have to read the series 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6, 8. It's kind of weird to keep it chronological. So I feel like I should clarify that for you don't think I'm a complete idiot. But I really enjoyed Book 8, and for some reason, I didn't enjoy Book 9 as much. It really dragged. Nothing was going on. They were just in a forest the entire bloody time, which important events go down, and if you've never read Book 9 before, it's very much so like on the edge of the sea. It's literally called Halt's Peril, so one of the characters is in peril, but it dragged for me. I was FaceTiming my friend while I was reading, and every page I was like, they're still in the bloody forest. But Book 8 I really enjoyed more than I typically do. I love the friendship between Will and Horace and Halt. Good for my heart, good for my soul. Ranger's Apprentice is my all-time favorite series, so Every time I revisit the universe just brings me a lot of joy. But book 9, I did not enjoy it at all this reread. I don't know why. But that's going to wrap up all the books that I read in May. I really hope you enjoyed hearing some of my thoughts because I did read quite a few popular books like Heartstopper, Book Lovers, Beach Read. So I feel like a lot more people have read those books. So if you want to discuss them, that would be really awesome if you chat about it in the comments below. And let me know your favorite book that you read this month. I really want to steal Katie's thing and be like, and if you're feeling shady, tell me your least favorite book. I can tell you mine. It was The Young Elites, which is so disappointing. I'm still salty about that. But that is all I have for now, and I hope to see you in my next one. Toodles!